Fancy
It's like
sweats.
we're in a TV studio.
Fancy sweats today. No, he's here to scope out what's on the table. No.
No.
All right, go to your spot.
Am I done?
We have lots to talk about today.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Ba-dum-ba-dum.
I kind of feel like I want to start like standing for this podcast. I'm going to try that. Okay? I'm tired of these squeaky stools. I'm going to move them.
Are you going to be in the camera?
I think so. I'm not any taller than you.
Hey, okay, let's go.
Blitz.
Matt and Becca.
Welcome to the No Regrets podcast. I am Becca. That is Matt. Blitz is right here today because he's still figuring out how to get these colorful kazoos. We have plenty to talk about. I must stay hydrated. I have not drinking a single sip of water besides the pool water that I drank this morning when I was swimming. So,
How much coffee?
a lot. And this has more caffeine in it. So we are ready to rock. How are you guys? Blitz is going to use the stool. Oh, let's watch this go down. He's thinking about jumping to the other stool. I don't know if you guys can see that. All right, Blitz is going to use the stool instead. Welcome, guys. How are y'all? This is episode 22 of the podcast. We have lots of great questions from you guys. When we first started the podcast...
Should we do 2 a week so we can get to 100 faster?
No, because I can barely edit 1 a week. Unless you want to start helping me edit. But I think we have plenty to talk about on this one. When we first started the podcast, I was really worried about... don't mess with that. I was really worried about, like, not ever having enough questions from our friends out there. Because when we were getting things started, people were like, oh, what do you talk about on this stuff? What questions do I ask and everything? And now, just so you guys know, we have a list of questions. And sometimes I have to pull which ones, like, that will create the best conversations or ones we haven't answered yet because we get so many. So if your questions haven't gotten answered, 1, you got to backtrack on some episode. More than likely, we've answered something like it. Or 2, I didn't like it, but that rarely happens. Maybe it was inappropriate or something. But usually I try to answer some inappropriate ones too. Or I just haven't gotten to it yet because we have plenty to talk about. Did you want to lead today's podcast at all?
No.
You joke about it every time now, like, am I leading the podcast?
You got to tell me you're leading the podcast. And then
I did. You today you were like, am I leading last night you were like, am I leading the podcast? And I go, sure. And that was the end of the conversation. So whenever you're ready.
Next week, episode 23.
Episode 23, Matt leads the podcast.
The Michael Jordan GOAT episode.
Right.
I'll lead it.
All right. Let's do it.
Be ready for
You heard it live.
Be ready for some interesting subjects.
Okay. You can always present interesting subjects. Okay. But let's revisit last week's episode when we started off with it got to an argument on mobility and who does mobility and who doesn't do mobility. And I have to say, I felt like, you know what? We live in a simulation. Because things that I talk about on this podcast always pop up either the next day or like at the end of the week. And I'm getting frustrated with this. So I'm just going to talk about brownies and unicorns and sprinkles and all these other things so that stuff appears in my life. Not I bag on you for not doing mobility and I just feel like a trash can at the end of the week because I was like slacking on my own mobility. So long story short, this week I'm feeling great. I'm feeling very mobile. That's why I'm like doing this on the podcast. If you're not watching, I'm in like a sumo squat stance. I can do a sumo deadlift right now. Glutes. And my body's feeling much better because I've been stretching all week.
Don't tear that up.
It's been keeping us here a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth it. So yeah, that happened after I bagged on Matt for saying he doesn't do his mobility. I felt like a trash can. You know what else? This is a really weird topic to bring up right now, but there was an episode where we talked about, where I was trying to encourage some of my ladies out there to not let your periods and pain like affect you in your training. Literally the next day, I had one of the worst days I ever had dealing with that. Like stabbing pains, crampiness, like feeling dehydrated. So I was like, wow, I should just start talking more positively on the podcast and maybe better things will happen. So that's been, other than that, it's been a pretty normal week. Anything happening on your end of the spectrum?
We did Veterans Day.
That is a note on here.
Veterans Day hero workout. Mm-hmm. We went to the TCU Texas football game. That was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Tailgated.
Guys, that was a whole different world for me.
It was fun.
If you have been around for a while, you know I didn't go to college. I went to the College of CrossFit Bolt. So this is where
I went to Northlake.
I did go to Northlake Community College, but I was like all online. And they asked me to go in for like an art assignment, like on campus for an art assignment one time. And I go, is there any way I cannot do this on campus? And I only went to that campus one time. Yeah, I did do a little bit of community college, but that was a whole new world for me to experience. Tailgating. It was wild, and game was super fun. You want to share what workout we ended up doing for Veterans Day?
Hildy. 100-calorie row, 75 thrusters with an empty barbell, 50 pull-ups, 75 wall balls, 100-calorie row. You did a 100-calorie ski to finish.
Yes, we had a big
rowers
crew.
were taken.
We had a big crew, and I was not happy that I did the middle portion. I was like, save my legs, do the thrusters more with my arms and everything, do the pull-ups really, really fast, save my legs on the wall balls too. Like, I just did a wall ball video talking about using your hips and your legs to get that ball up there, but I was like, I want to save my legs because I'm going to finish on this row. And then I got out there and I go, no, there's no rowers open. And then when you came out to tell me I was like skiing in the moment. I went to the skier. And when you came out to tell me there were rowers starting to pop open, I was already at like over 50.
I knew you were just going to stay with it.
I was already over 50, and I was like, I'm just going to finish it on the ski. That was not fun. I don't even think I've ever skied 100 calories straight. And then it was at the end of that workout, so it felt like I was on there for a while. That's what we ended up with. The last two workouts, guys, for our Hero WOD bracket was Jerry, which is all monostructural, which is run, row, run. It's like run a mile, row 2K, run a mile. And then that rowing sandwich with Hildy. So I feel like the bracket done us dirty this year. But other than that, that's what we ended up with. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that happened this week. Oh my gosh, we had fans stop in yesterday from Belgium. Like, to see the gym. And I felt bad because there was a trash pile right there. And I was like, please ignore the trash pile that's going out to the dumpster today. Made me want to get some really cool merch for when people come in from Belgium. I'm like,
boxes.
Here, have this snow globe.
It was like cardboard boxes.
Yes, it wasn't trash.
It wasn't like just full-on trash.
We pile up the cardboard boxes. See, this is why I need a four-wheeler. If I had a four-wheeler, I would take each cardboard box individually and like drive it over to our recycling place because it's kind of a long walk. But no, right now, while we don't have a four-wheeler, we just pile it up and eventually pick one day to go load it up in the back of
That's
the
one
truck
of
and take
Blitz's
it there.
favorite things is taking out the trash at the gym. Because he'll walk down there with you sometimes, or sometimes he just stays by the mats and he gets in his little crouched, like, wolf position, and then when you start walking back,
then he ambushes you.
He ambushes you.
It's pretty funny. But we had fans stop in from Belgium. I was like coming in, I was already late. Like Gerard told me he was gonna be late, so I was like, okay, I'll leave later. And then I was later than Gerard. And those folks were waiting around here to see the gym, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for being late now. But they came in, got a shirt. They actually, I had some extra Big Becca shirts that I found from semifinals last year. I signed a Big Becca shirt for them, and they were going toward many more spots of the country.
It was like a
So
Christmas
cool.
gift for the
Was it
dude's girlfriend or something.
I don't know,
Who's
I
a
didn't
big
see
fan.
the email. I don't know.
So
But they got something
tell
cool.
them Merry Christmas.
Come visit us here at Bolton. I'll
Oh.
give you some weird things.
Are we
Like-
ruining the Christmas gift?
Oh, shoot. We're going to bleep this out. Okay, we got to bleep this out. Oh, good catch. Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, that happened. Okay.
We could
Back on track.
we could clip this
We're ruining someone's Christmas present.
and do it again after Christmas.
We're ruining someone's Christmas present. We're going to have to cut this out. Okay. But anyways, that happened. And we've been getting a lot of cool visitors. So I'm so thankful for you guys that are entertained by our weirdness and keep up with all of that and love to come visit Bolt. It really does mean a lot. So that was definitely a highlight of the week. I don't have anything else. We'll get into questions because we got a lot of good ones. You ready?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
But first things first, you guys know this podcast is sponsored by Resin. Today I have watermelon in here. And I thought watermelon was my least favorite. Now I don't know. I like them all. Resin is changing the game when it comes to hydration, guys, because now we have caffeine and hydration put together. This is the easiest way to get my attention is say the word caffeine, and now you're telling me I can have caffeine and stay hydrated because, you know what, the only water I usually drink is pool water when I go swimming on Thursday.
And taste.
And taste? It tastes great.
Yeah, it tastes good.
It tastes great. It doesn't taste like the ocean. Their product Endure is not just another electrolyte drink mix, I'm getting that word down, but a complete pre-workout that ensures you get the most out of every serving. Each box of Resin Endure comes with 15 stick powder packets that you'll add to 12 to 20 ounces of water, shake it up, and enjoy 30 minutes prior to your activity. But if you're like me, you'll be sipping on that delicious energy in a bottle all day because I can't control myself when you give me flavors like blue raspberry, watermelon, and peach mango. What other flavors do you guys want to see? Give me some ideas. We're coming out with new stuff. Here's what's in each Resin Endure packet. 150 milligrams of natural caffeine, 250 milligrams of L-theanine, 780 milligrams of electrolytes, 1,250 milligrams of coconut water powder, plus 750 milligrams of beetroot powder. Yeah, you're a coconut water person. Remember that time you drank bad coconut water?
Oh, no.
That was a rough day. 3 to 4 grams of organic cane sugar, natural flavoring. That does not include banana. I always like to tell you guys that if you pitch doing a banana flavored resin, I will block you. Just kidding, I will not block you, but I will not like you as much as I currently do. It delivers consistent energy without the crash. This means we can finally have the best of both worlds, guys, caffeine and hydration. I add it to my training all the time. I love it. It helps me out big time. It's not as hot as it was in the summer, obviously, but honestly, I'm looking forward to like really having a lot of this in the summer. I'll be like chugging that because we sweat all the time here.
The Bolt sauna.
Be sure to go check out GoResin.com to shop Endure and other bundles. Keep up with my Instagram page, guys. I'm always promoting any giveaways they do, and I have some new stuff that I'll be pushing on my stories to help give you guys that kickstart or have you try resin if you're a little bit hesitant to try it. But other than that, go shop GoResin.com. That's Go Resin, and use my code BigBecca to save 10% on your orders. And
I mean, you passed out a bunch at the gym this week.
Dude, they were gone in less than a day.
And all positive feedback.
I know.
I didn't hear anybody say like.
The only feedback I got that was like iffy at first was someone didn't put enough water in the packet. Like you can put a good amount of what, like I filled this thing up all the way. It's probably a little bit more than a normal water bottle.
More like 20 ounces.
Yeah, get to the bigger side if it's like a little bit grainy and everything. But they are very delicious. Like I've already gotten a lot of people around here saying they're definitely going to use it. And that means a lot to me. I know we're trying to grow with these guys. So check them out, guys. On to questions we must go. Okay, first question. A few people asked some variation of this. So here we go. Hey, what kind of workouts do you think we can do to stay on track when always traveling and only have access to hotel gyms? Traveling's hard. I know it's because we're not used to it, but every time we travel and get out of our routine, it's definitely a challenge to make sure you're getting some movement in. And the other hard thing that goes with it is your eating and making sure you like fuel enough to feel motivated to
I don't
actually
think it's
get
fueling
some
enough. It's fueling
decently.
properly or decently.
Yeah.
Getting you can't, I mean, if you usually meal prep or you eat at home or you do some things, sometimes it can be hard on the road finding good options.
But sticking to workouts, hotel gyms, you can still get lots done in hotel gyms. You're just gonna have to kind of walk in, see what they have
Hopefully
there.
they have some dumbbells.
Dumbbells, you can. I always said if I needed to travel with something or was stuck at home doing like at-home gyms or like variations of workouts, all I'd need is like a dumbbell and a resistance band, and you can do a lot with that.
You can do conditioning anywhere with just about anything. Like there's so many options for conditioning to get your heart rate up and get conditioned. So that's just making yourself do it.
Yeah. I think keeping it more simple than anything, especially when you're traveling, you're not always set in this like really consistent routine. What might help you is like take a moment or maybe I'm sure there's a program, we don't have anything like it, but I'm sure there's a program out there that gives you like anywhere from 10 to 15 like hotel or minimal equipment workout lists, so you can just like run through each one. Equipment wise, we're always looking for like dumbbells. You can do anything cardio related, like run around, or usually there's a treadmill or some sort of like maybe a rowing machine or something in there. Burpees.
Go to the stairwell.
I've
done that before.
Oh yeah, stairs. So there, you can always get your cardio in that way, but weight and conditioning wise, you can do so much with a dumbbell. You can squat, you can lift, you can pull, you can bench over row.
If you're a hardcore CrossFitter and you're like, oh, I don't want to lose my gymnastics gains or my strength gains, here's two things. For strength, I would say try single leg work for squat stuff. You can do lots of stuff with single leg. You have a lower load, but then add in tempo work. You can change, instead of pressing up overhead, doing a seated or Z press, making it more challenging, but just hold a tempo until it's hard. If the dumbbell weights aren't very heavy, you can still find a way to make that hard, or even like push-ups, air squats with a backpack or something that you're holding. If you do tempo, that can make it as good as possible if you don't have a lot of loading. And then for gymnastics, we say this all the time, like just working your arch hollow, your midline, so much flutter kicks, hollow rocks, V-ups. There's so much.
Durante core.
Yeah.
Terry, shout out Terry.
Yeah, there's so much midline work that's going to make your gymnastics better on the pull-up bar that isn't have anything to do with hanging on the pull-up bar. So if you're like one of those diehard CrossFitters and you're like, I don't want to lose my pull-ups or different things, those are some things you can do.
I bet, like, if you're asking, like, what kind of workouts you think you can do, the hardest part you're probably having is, like, there's plenty to do. It's just, like, structuring it or having something ready to go so you actually go and do it. Like I know, like, if I have this list of, like I said, like, anywhere from, like, 8 up to 15 workouts that you just cycle through when you're traveling, like, you don't want to get to the hotel gym and have to, like, think about what you're going to do. So having a list of workouts or saved in your phone somewhere that you already have written up that you can just go hit really quick is going to help you. But when you're writing those and thinking minimal equipment, like I said, like you can do lots with dumbbells, tempo work, and what we said at the beginning of the podcast, stretch. If you're traveling, you're probably sitting a lot. Don't forget to stretch out your hips so your back stays intact and you can feel good that way too. Cool, but keep it simple. Keep it to where it's really easy. You don't have to take like more than an hour to go walk over to the gym or even just stay in the hotel room and stretch and move. You got to do that. I know it's hard when you're traveling for work and everything, but we all gotta figure it out. Next question. As a fellow vertically challenged athlete, I got this. The other day I was climbing up on shelves and everything, so I got this. You don't know what that feels like. What do you feel are the most challenging movements due to your height? Also, I'm 52 years old and you're an inspiration. Wow! Thank you. That means a lot. I made a whole video about wall balls. Obviously wall balls, but really the thing that gets me the most frustrated with my size, being that I'm short and small, is machine work. Just because I don't have a lot of mass to put behind machines and be powerful about it. I actually had a question come through. I have lots of questions about every time I post like an assault bike or an echo bike video, people are like, how did you get good at biking? I'm like, hold on. Who said I was good at biking? Second is just, there's no secret to it. Like, we work a lot on building an engine. We do have like programmed high power output sprint days and everything. But I was trying to tell people, like, being a smaller athlete, it just means I'm trying to get as strong as possible. You can see that in a lot of the training that I'm doing, with also building up the capacity to hold like higher stroke rates on the rower or any of those machines, because I'm not going to have as much length as a taller person or as much power as a heavier person. So I don't like to think I'm that small, so I try to work with what I got and then build up the other areas that maybe lack, like just overall engine capacity. And then he makes me sprint on Fridays. It's the worst. Let me think of anything else. Getting up to pull-up bars in competitions. Like, no joke. Like, that sounds like a joke, but there have been too many times where I have to go ask like directors of the competitions for extra risers and everything, because if I can't get up to the pull-up bar, I mean, I know we have the other end of the spectrum where athletes are too tall, but I'm like, if I can't get up to the pull-up bar, how am I going to do my pull-ups? I need like a boost. Other than that, just like wall balls, machines just frustrate me the most. Like, you remember the pool workout at the games? Like, I spend an extra like half a second trying to like tippy toe and reach the handles where people just like grab them and go. I have to like get one and then the other one. But hey, there's gonna be ways you can capitalize and take advantage of your height on like gymnastics and everything and being a smaller athlete. And you just gotta build up the areas that you lack and need some work. It's hot in here because I'm moving a lot. What do you struggle with as a tall athlete? Is it the new handstand, wall-facing handstand push-ups? You're pretty good at those.
No, I'm good
Is
at
it
that.
handstand push-ups in general?
No.
Is it just moving your
I'm
body
good
weight?
I'm much more of a
Wow,
presser.
he's just good at everything.
I'm much more of a presser than a puller. I would say high volume gymnastics.
Yeah, just,
So like
you got a lot of body to
high
move.
volume chest to bars, high volume toe to bars have always been something like I'm fine with. Muscle ups, even a decent amount of volume with that. So something like high volume
Mentally,
body weight movements.
I used to like be aggravated by when people are like, you're short, you have less range of motion, the bar doesn't have to travel as far. I'm like, yeah, take that. I just like own the situation now, because I mean, usually those are bigger athletes that have more mass to put behind the bar. I'm like, fine, I'll just use my short powers. So there you go. Try not to let that like mess with you. It's been a long time like building up this crazy brain, but it's cool being small.
You're just not gonna get taller. You're not gonna get shorter. You're not gonna get.
Yeah.
There's certain things out of your control. So just get as good as you can with what you got.
Okay, I love how this next question started, because it made me feel good. It says, first of all, I love you and I'm so proud of you. I go, I don't know who you are, but thank you. I needed that. I really needed that. I relate to you a lot because I'm a smaller athlete, 4'11" and about 112 pounds. Wow. That is much smaller than me. Okay, well, not much smaller, but that's smaller than me. I would love if you could go over diet and nutrition and how you built yourself to get stronger. Are there any protein powders or supplements you suggest as well? Thank you so much. Looking forward to hearing your feedback. We've been over this plenty of times before. Nutrition has been the hardest thing that I'm like still learning and building up that. Like, the training's the easy part for me. It's nutrition. I have always, besides my young teenage stage of pizza rolls and Tyson chicken nuggets and mini corn dogs. We had a conversation about those. And fish sticks, all of those things. That was the only time I really ate bad. Oh, no. The pizzas. Are they Totino's pizzas?
Yeah, pizza rolls, Totino's.
Yeah, but the actual pizzas, the one serving size
I don't
pizza.
know.
I was hooked on those, man.
Bagel Bites? Did you ever
Like,
get Bagel
it's that
Bites?
brand. No, I didn't like Bagel Bites. They were too, like, they were like too hard.
Too crunchy.
But I could pound one of those pizzas. Besides, like, those couple years I was hooked on those things. Are you gonna sneeze? Oh, God. Take cover, guys. Besides those, like, I've always ate, especially when my mom started CrossFit and then we started working on nutrition together. I always ate kind of clean. I just didn't eat a lot. So what I've been doing over the years is just gradually trying to get myself to eat more and more. I'm doing much better, which is helping put on some muscle mass and everything, but that's what you guys have been seeing. Like, I haven't changed a lot of my eating. It's just the amount that I eat, and it's all relatively clean. As far as protein, I don't have any specific brand. The one that I've been using for a while is just Ascent. I'm not sponsored by any of that, so just try whatever you want. I've had muscle milk before, but other than that, I just keep that to a flavor that I don't despise making. Because if I don't like it, I'm not going to make it. So I like those flavors. And we have to dedicate some of this progress to creatine. I do love my creatine. It's all up in my head now that if I don't take my creatine, that I won't lift well. We talk about all this mental strength stuff that I'm like, where's the creatine? That's why I lifted so bad today. Yeah,
Placebo is a real thing. So.
Hey, if it works, it works. I don't care if it's in my head or not. If it works, it works. But if you're trying to put on muscle mass, you need to be adding some creatine to your supplement regimen.
I think creatine is now one of those supplements that almost everyone should take all the time if you're doing any sort of exercise or resistance training. There's just too many benefits, and it's the most tested supplement pretty much that there is. So
but other than that,
take creatine, it's good for you.
Other than that, I don't do too much stuff. I'm not a supplement person. This is supplement dude right here. We've been over it. Don't even like at me. You said your pee was rainbow not too long ago with the supplements you were taking.
I did not say it was rainbow.
You said it was like bright colors or something. What?
Said it was like a highlighter.
Yeah, because of the new supplements.
It was a multivitamin. It wasn't like.
I don't have highlighter urine. Like, unlike some people. Next question. I hope that helps you. If you're trying to put on muscle mass, just focus on clean eating and eating a lot.
It would also help it. We could maybe get to that goal weight with more sleep too.
Yes. I can't talk about that because I'm not good at that. Next question. What do you guys do for zone 2 training? I have a really hard time just being on a cardio machine for 30 to 40 minutes. Yo! Me too. I hate it. I complain about it every week. Every week we do it. I complain for a solid 10 minutes before we start the 40 minutes of zone 2, or however long it takes, anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. Do you mix it up or add other movements in? Sometimes it's just biking, sometimes it's just running. There have been times in the past where you've worked some accessory in for me. So if you're like, I just don't like to do it, and the only way it's gonna you're gonna force yourself to do it is by making it more entertaining, like, do that.
Yes, but if you're truly trying to stay in zone 2 and get the benefits of zone 2, you need to stay in zone 2. And so if you get off the bike or the machine and you get your heart rate super spiked and you get out of zone 2, you don't just immediately go back to getting the benefit of zone 2 just because your heart rate goes back down, because you've already started the process of building lactate. So it's actually one of those things that where you can get off and do some accessory stuff, but you still need to have your heart rate monitor on and stay within that heart rate zone. Because just because if you pop out for, even maybe it's not a super long time and you get back into zone 2, you don't immediately get the some of the benefits that were, just to keep it simple, that you're trying to get from the Zone 2 if you're bouncing in and out of it. So you want to keep it pure Zone 2. So you can talk with your coach and help find the appropriate heart rate for you. But that would be my only caution against that. But I agree, if it's getting off and doing some light pressing movements, and you can keep your heart rate where it is and not get into that buildup of lactate.
This is gonna sound really weird, but I'll explain in a second. What are the jelly beans?
Your mitochondria.
That's what we're trying to build. So in Zone 2, this is the only way I understand Zone 2. Is
how I tricked you into doing it. It's like you get more jelly beans.
We call, what was it?
Your mitochondria.
Which helps?
Your mitochondria is like the power plant of your cells.
Okay, we call those jelly beans. And what Zone 2 does is it builds more jelly beans.
Yeah, your mitochondrial density, and makes them more efficient as well. But you get more of them
by staying in Zone 2.
Building and spending time in Zone 2.
But if you leave Zone 2, you're not going to build the jelly beans.
Correct.
So if that helps you guys, just realize
when you're like a little video infographic.
When we did watch a video where it was explaining that, and they looked like jelly beans. That's where this whole thing came from. But when you're biking or running for like 30 to 40 minutes, just imagine like more jelly beans in your body, like growing in your body. That's what I do. It's the only. So Matt was trying to compliment me this morning. He's like, "You're so pretty," and you didn't say pretty because I don't like when you tell me pretty. You're like, what'd you start with? Like, you're so cool, funny, and then you said smart, and that's the one that always gets me. Like, and then you changed it to, you're smart at the things you want to be smart at.
Because you rejected my compliment.
Because I'm not. I mean, I know I'm not. Like,
no, you are smart at the things.
The things I want to be smart at. If it's history,
You're
no,
smart
don't ask
at
me
coaching.
any. Yes, don't ask me any history questions.
Coaching
Don't ask me any math questions. And I learn things by like example of what we just talked about. Like, what are jelly beans? Like, it's the only thing I know about Zone 2 is I'm trying to gain more jelly beans. Next question. Oh, we didn't really solve this mystery though.
So what makes it?
You can mix in other accessory works to keep it entertaining, but you have to wear a heart rate monitor, make sure you're staying in Zone 2. And then sometimes he tries to get me to edit videos or watch a show or something when I'm doing Zone 2 to just distract you a little bit from it. That's all okay to do.
And I would say more often than not, when you're doing Zone 2, you probably are gonna, as CrossFitters, find the urge to even go too fast. Or if your Zone 2 ranges from 115 to 132, you're gonna be right at that line of holding 132, where it might be okay to be close to that, but hey, maybe it could lead to you getting out of Zone 2, and those ranges are there for a reason, because everyone's different, and how we our lactate threshold and all those things are different. So, being more in the middle to make sure you're staying in Zone 2, or maybe even going slower than you think, even sometimes, it should not be hard, is what you're looking for. So, and I know that's hard. I hate that too.
Yeah,
you don't feel like you're getting a lot from it. But another really big benefit, you're getting jelly beans, but another huge benefit, especially, this is why it's for endurance athletes, but as CrossFitters, you're doing so much, is it's allowing you to improve your aerobic base. But think about it, when you're done with Zone 2, a minute after you get off the bike or whatever, you feel completely fine. It doesn't take a huge toll on your body. It's easier to recover from. The act of moving itself might help you recover or stretch, or, if you're doing it on a Thursday or something like that, a rest day or an active recovery day. So it's not just, it's improving your aerobic base and doing some other things, but it's something that you're able to work on and not just have to have this huge amount of recovery time to come back at something the next day. So it's another really good benefit of it.
Do your Zone 2, even though it sucks. It does suck. There you go. Next question.
That's a bad attitude.
I was trying to be more positive on this. I said do it. Do it. I mean.
Wait till you're in the middle of your Zone 2 workout.
It is just going to be sucking. That's what's going to happen. Based on previous experiences with this podcast and things I do the rest of the week. This pops up every single week, and sometimes I haven't answered it yet. But so many people ask me, they're like, "Are you planning to go to the CrossFit Games again?" I'm like, I wish it was that simple as just I can just show up for the CrossFit Games.
I don't think they mean are you training for it.
Yes. That's why we train. That's why, I literally just wrote a newsletter titled "Training Sucks." I really did. So be on the lookout for that. But
Thanks
we are on the move to making the CrossFit Games again. But regardless,
what is all
this year,
sucks?
I'm just being real. Okay. But there's a positive spin on it. It's called clickbait. It's called honest clickbait. But yes, I will be competing as hard as possible for me to make it back to the CrossFit Games, guys. That's the end goal. We didn't make it back last year, but we're on the hunt for it again this year, and it's in Texas, so we'll definitely see you guys at the games. Planning to be on the competition floor again. For someone 1 to 2 years into CrossFit looking to get into competing, do you have any tips or recommendations? We've talked about this plenty of times in the past, but what I'm going to say just for everyone, because there was quite a few questions on people starting to compete, is yes, I love it. Get into those competitions. See if you like it. It's definitely a vibe being out on a competition floor, feeling that adrenaline. But you just got to start. You got to sign up for a local comp. See if you like it. And then from there, if it's a good competition, you're going to have some fun things that happen in it, and then you're going to have some weaknesses exposed, which is exactly what you want in competition. But you just got to jump into it, take every workout, competition, whatever you do with a grain of salt, being that they're all a little bit different. And then if you get serious about competing, keep on listening to the podcast, because we talk about all the tips and tricks that we experience training for high-level competition. So I wish you guys out there all the best of luck that are looking to jump into competition.
And then when you
get into a local comp.
Go into that comp looking forward to have fun, seeing, trying to learn some different things, or being prepared for some different things, but also it's a learning opportunity, and going in with that mindset of there's going to be something I'm not prepared for, something that doesn't go quite like I want, or maybe something that you really suck at. That's actually a good thing, because then you can put your time and effort into yes, I have something I can work on. So just, I think having that mindset going into competition is good too, because sometimes people get smacked in the face a little bit, maybe with some reality, and they're like, oh my gosh, where it should be oh, I have a perfect plan now of what I need to work on or where I need to spend my time if I'm going to continue to do this. So.
Yep. Jump on in with a positive attitude. Because it's not Zone 2.
I've been saying that to you on some of your strength stuff when you're like, this sucks, or this hurts in a different way. I'm like, good, yes. We're in the right realm of things when you're getting challenged in new ways.
I've just been marching. Belt squat, marching, and you're like, oh, it feels good to get stronger. I'm like, you're not the one doing this. But it is good. On another competition note, someone's asking, for someone who's just starting to compete, what kind of diet do you recommend? The same diet I want everybody to be on. It's just a healthy, clean diet. Although if you're competing and training more, you just gotta make sure it's clean, make sure it's protein-filled and carb-filled. That's a really quick synopsis. That's a big word for me. Synopsis on that. Keep it clean. Make sure you're getting in your protein. If your training volume is up, make sure you're getting in a lot of clean carbs so you can stay energized. And it's not going to be far off of someone who's not competing and trying to live a healthy lifestyle. So don't think about that too much. Just get into it and adjust as you're learning more about it. Okay, I'm trying to speed through these next few questions that are just rapid fire because we have places to be, schedules to hit, places to be, all that stuff. If you choke a Smurf, what color does it change to?
Why are you choking a Smurf?
I know. I'm not even a Smurf person. Like, I haven't seen any of the movies. Like, I just know what the Smurfs are. But isn't the easy answer just purple? I have nothing against Smurfs to, like, choke them. I just don't, like, I don't
Maybe
have
they
anything
turn
to do.
white. If we're white and we turn blue.
Ooh, what? Not all people are white, though.
The people that turn
It's
blue,
racist.
the people that turn blue when they get choked are white.
So they reverse it and they
Yeah,
turn
they
white.
reverse it.
That
They turn
makes
white.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a weird question. Next question. My lifting numbers are stuck. Any suggestions? Now that could be a deep question. I thought we were getting into rapid fire, but that one's kind of smushed in there. That could be a number of things, like many, many things. Like, where are you at in your stage of life, or how, like, there will be a point.
Are you limited by mobility or something else?
Mm-hmm.
I would say the simplest answer is you need more variation in what you're doing. You've done the same thing the same way, whether it be squatting in the exact same stance and the exact same progression or the exact same way, or no progression, just randomly squatting like every couple of weeks, and there's not any sort of looking at, oh, I have this issue with my ankle mobility, or I don't sit back enough and utilize my posterior chain, doing a different type of squatting, or what is your biggest limiter? Maybe my low back and core is weak and I need to do some accessory work on that sort of stuff. But find more variance and find what you're weak at and do that.
That's, yeah.
Get out of your comfort zone.
Perfect way to put it. I think a lot of people, like, let's just use an Olympic lift for an example. I don't know what types of lifts you're talking about, but use the Olympic lifts for an example. If you go and watch a lot of people, they're like, oh, I haven't PR'd my snatch in so long, or snatches always get me. It gets in my head and blah, blah, all this other stuff. But then you go and look at their snatch and you're like, dude, you're lacking like a lot of mobility to be able to like feel comfortable with this lift just in general. So it's like not always like, do more lifts.
Or you max out every time you do the snatch.
Yes.
That's a huge issue with the Olympic lifts.
But stuff like that, but you hit it right on the money. Just variance, and then being like, literally video yourself, be honest with yourself, and be like, is it mobility? Is it?
The realization on the Olympic lifts, especially the snatches, that it's not a strength movement. It's not about getting, for 99% of us, it's not about getting stronger. It's about
your mobility and technique.
You're working your mobility and your technique.
Yeah. And if you feel like you're stuck, this is what I always tell you, is when I feel like I'm stuck or I have a blow-up drama scene like every other week, I'm like, we have to go back. We have to go back. Like, it always gets exciting to, like, force yourself to go back to light, empty barbell, PVC, or light percentages, and just rebuild slowly with confidence. Because if you feel like you're stuck, then you're not confident in what you're doing. So it's like literally going back to the basics, being honest with yourself, like what really needs work, and then building it up slowly from there.
That's a loaded question, because it's like, how old are you?
Yeah.
And like your training age, all of that stuff. So that's a quick one. Well, a quick answer.
Yeah, that's actually a fun one to kind of dig into.
We can maybe dig into that one in the future.
All right, we're going to get back to the rapid fire questions. What do you do on your rest days / cheat days? All the other projects that I do outside of training and coaching. Paint. It's more just like crafts. Like whatever crafts I have on the list that day, but paint shoes too. I have
chalkboard art.
Chalkboard art. I'm making Bolt Christmas ornaments right now.
You go to the dollar store.
I go to the dollar store.
Decorate the gym.
I love the dollar store. Except for the fact that people ask
store.
me if I work there. I'm like, what does that mean, man? What does that mean? Like, what do I look like? Do I look like that when I'm over there? I'm very focused when I'm over there too, because there's like so endless possibilities for all these dollar items, which is $1.25 these days. Stupid inflation. It really racks up the bill, that extra quarter.
And then you eat ice cream if they're talking about cheat day.
Oh yeah, and then I eat ice cream. Favorite rock band? don't even like rock that much. Sorry to break it to you guys. That's like one, I will listen to it in the gym, and if people want it, I'll put it on. But I'm not like, you won't see me go to the iPad and put on rock. But we did have Aerosmith Guitar Hero, so I know a lot of Aerosmith songs. Do you have a favorite rock band?
I mean, it's hard to beat AC/DC if you're talking about just pure
That's what's on
classic
a lot
rock.
in the gym. That's what's on a lot.
I like Rage Against the Machine. They're kind of
Killing in the name of
Audio Slave, which was partially Chris Cornell with Rage Against the Machine. Do you want to sing that part?
That's so uncomfortable when that part of the beginning of the song, like killing in the name is the name of the song. Well, I get fired up because you told me that was like your old Academy song of just like rebelling, and I'm like, oh, it gets me fired up. But then the end of the song is like, F you, I want you to. And it's like goes on for so long, and I'm just standing there like, okay, time to change a song. There's kids in here.
Dude, that's way less bad than some of the other stuff that comes on
know.
the stereo that we have to like run and change.
But still, it's aggressive. Favorite movie quote? What's the first one that comes to my head? It's gotta be just a Dumb and Dumber quote of just
I was
like,
about to say,
yeah.
big gulps, huh?
Oh,
Well,
no, it's
see you
not that
later.
one. It's not that one, but it's just like, so you're saying there's a chance. Yes! It's like good motivating, like big gulps. So it's a Dumb and Dumber quote, but the 1 in a million quote from Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. That's probably it. All right. Because we have to wrap this up. We have so many good questions I'll have to save for next week's podcast. I'm going to sit down because we have some major thoughts to hit right here. It's time for Coach Jen's question of the week.
Oh no, Blitz.
She gave us a good one this week, guys. It's crazy. I have my answers. The new rule of Coach Jen's
I don't have
question
an
of the
answer.
week.
This is hard.
The new rule of Coach Jen's question of the week is Matt gets to know Coach Jen's
I think it might be
question
better
of
if
the
you
week.
just I don't know, because then I get into
Well, that's why I
coming up
don't
with
give
the
him the
perfect
questions in the first place. Is he'll be like
analyze.
all of the questions. So that's why I'm in charge of the questions until you lead the podcast next week. But Coach Jen's question of the week is, what 2 normal activities would be really weird to do back to back? What 2 normal activities would be really weird to do back to back? Do you want me to go with mine?
You go. You already have one.
I think this is literally the only 2 that I could think of, and I could not think of anything else, but I think I wouldn't be the only one with this answer, is just like eating and using the bathroom. Like, imagine it's
back to back?
Like you're sitting on the toilet, like eating pizza.
That's simultaneously. That's not back to back.
Well, I think that's how I read that question. It's like doing things at the same time. Like, but did you imagine that? Like how ridiculous that would look? Like eating pizza and then using, like, on the toilet. Gross. That is what I came up with. If we're talking like, one of the weirdest things we do around here is like, I'll finish a hard workout and be like, I'm gonna go get like a popsicle or go immediately eat something bad after, because I earned it, but that's not that weird. What is like a normal activity? We'll try to pair it up with something. Going to the grocery store. That's a normal activity. No, it's not for you. I go to the grocery store.
I go sometimes.
Sometimes. Vacuuming. Vacuuming's a normal activity.
No, it's not.
Weird. If
I
you
never
vacuum, and then you gotta help me.
What is normal? That's the question. I feel like normal is like...
No, normal people vacuum just because you don't. You're not normal. So you have to, I'm giving you what goes weird with vacuuming. Eating pizza. Just the answer to everything. Eating a hot dog while you're vacuuming.
That's not one after the other.
Okay, that's still weird if you're like, I'm going to eat a hot dog and then I'm going to go vacuum, or vice versa.
Why is that weird if you're hungry?
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Why is it always eating? What about swimming? No, you're not helping at all. Come on, think of a normal activity.
I'm stumped. I don't feel normal.
It's a good one. But I got it. Like, even, like, I've felt weird before. Sometimes, like, at the end of the day, I'll have my 2 pieces of dark chocolate, and then I'm so sad when I go brush my teeth immediately after, because I just get all the flavor out of my mouth. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't brush my teeth tonight. But I still do.
There you go. That's a good one.
Eating and then immediately brushing.
Eating something that tastes good.
You know what's weird? You're like this. I'm going to reveal your secrets. You're a brush your teeth in the morning. No. I had friends like this. No, you're not like, no. You're just a brush your teeth always in the morning person.
Sometimes I do at night, but usually it's just in the morning.
Yeah, I don't know how you do that. But I had friends that would immediately brush their teeth as they woke up and then go eat breakfast. Instead of like wake up, go eat breakfast, and then brush your teeth and then go about the day. Like, what's the point of that? I know you're supposed to, at some point, brush your teeth during the day. But then they'd wake up, brush their teeth, and then
Dude, that's just how I was taught. That's how you get raised.
No.
It's like, gotta brush your teeth before you go to school.
No, that's fine, but not brush your teeth and then eat breakfast.
I didn't really
Like, you should
eat
brush your
breakfast
teeth
that much.
after you eat breakfast. Also, here it is, final
I'm not
answer.
a big breakfast eater.
Final answer. I am the person that has to, every time I go in the bathroom, I like put on deodorant. I think that's why I fly through deodorant. So, immediately before I go to bed, I put on deodorant. I can't be the only one like that out there.
Oh, I got one now.
Like, it's not like I'm going to go anywhere. It's maybe I
don't know why all of the it goes back to going to the bathroom again, taking a shower, and then going to the bath.
That is weird. That is weird.
I feel like you got to just take a shower again.
Okay, that's a good one. That is weird. Like, that's happened
Don't
before?
take a shower and then immediately go. I mean, obviously, if you have to go, you go, but you should plan that before you take the shower.
But you actually, like, everyone's done this at some point, but taken a shower and then had to sit on the toilet, like, your butt feels weird. Like, it's like you're trying to dry off, like, the back of your legs, but then you sit on the toilet seat and it's like, I feel like my legs are still wet, and this whole situation is really awkward because I just showered and now I feel like gross after using the bathroom. So might as well just jump back in the shower and restart this whole process. That's a good one. Shower and then number 2.
You did that with a lot of them. Shower and then wash Blitz.
Yeah, but that's just dumb. It's not like weird. Like, I don't want to get the tub dirty from bathing Blitz after I... Okay, yeah, there you go. There you go, Jen. That's what you wanted, okay? That's what you asked for. You guys already got the hero workout. You can do that one. That's the workout we're going to leave you guys with. And that'll be a wrap on episode 20... What was it, 22 of the podcast?
Sorry for ruining Christmas.
What? Oh. Well, there will be some editing done just in case. I'm sorry. You guys won't get to hear that full story because I don't want to ruin anyone's Christmas gift. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Rebecca Fuselier and Coach Matt Bear and Blitz the Best Boy. Email us any long-form questions at getthatfusenews@gmail.com. Keep up with all the crazy. Subscribe to YouTube. Thanks for listening along. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.